Hello, and welcome back, everyone, to the second episode with Part-Time Gamers Podcast. I'm joined by Frosty and Win. What's going on, both of you?
Hello again to all many dozens of you that watched the first time.
Yeah, the many of you, millions of you, thousands of you.
Oh, sorry, I
went backwards there.
Yeah, how are you doing, Win?
Super excited to keep talking about Dragonflight.
Oh my God, I can't wait. Before we were recording, I'm just like, I need to hold it all in, keep it contained. But I'm really excited to jump into this. So the last time we left off, we kind of gave you a little bit of fillers about what Dragonflight was about, our first experiences, what we thought, a little bit of, dabble into Mythic, but we really didn't touch too much in rating, which we were going to get to because you know me, I love that. I'm so excited. But before we get into that, how was the holidays? Was the holidays good? Did you spoil yourselves?
Yeah,
I got shitty.
Really relaxed. Mm-hmm. You got what?
I shitty. I was what we call white girl wasted.
That
sounds like a good time.
I was unfamiliar with the term. I must not have gotten wasted enough.
Yeah, I went woo girl. No, but it was fun. I needed I needed it. But anyway, sorry, I just wanted to check in. But both of you enjoyed it?
Definitely. Yeah, good time with family. Lots of food, family, all that good stuff.
God, yeah, it was like Thanksgiving all over again. I had a turkey dinner on Christmas, and I was like, all right. Weird flex, but good.
That's great.
Anyway.
Yeah. I got my dad to play WoW, actually.
No,
really?
wait. Pause.
Yeah.
What?
So my dad, we started some fresh characters. I think we only made it up to like level 11 or something, like the new tutorial zone. He was playing a hunter and I played a monk, and we just like ran through and like leveled stuff. It was really fun, just like seeing it through a completely fresh player's eyes. He's never played MMOs before, so it was.
That's what I was gonna ask. Yeah. That's fucking
He's
wild.
played a lot of video games. Like he's a big gamer, and we used to play games a lot together, but never MMOs. So it was a really interesting experience.
How was his first the takeaway? Like, was he like, why do you do this to yourself? Or was he like, no, I get this?
He was like, oh yeah. I mean, he was a big fantasy RPG gamer. Like he usually like solo plays and stuff. God, so he definitely, I think he was, there was, the control scheme is really difficult to pick up on for a first time player. And also like one of the interesting things was he's a left-hand mouse player, and WoW doesn't really support that. Like,
I didn't even think about
because if your right hand is on the arrow keys instead of WASD, where are your hotkeys? Like, where are your ability bar and stuff? Like, how are you going to get to the numbers? So that was the biggest first thing. That was just like, it was really hard for him to use abilities.
Was he using numpad maybe?
Or a gamepad, like a gamepad, right? Don't they have those?
Yeah, it would have to be a gamepad. And even we were both playing on MacBooks, so it was just like there was no good control scheme possible. But he still had fun. We made it through a quick dungeon, and it was cool.
Oh, you even got through a dungeon. Oh yeah, so you gave him the real good first beginner experience. That's awesome to hear. And what class did he play? Hunter.
He was a hunter. Yeah.
Of course, everybody. Anyway, but yeah, that's really awesome, actually, man. I hope he keeps coming back. That'd be awesome to have Pops come in. But anyway, guys, I'm glad though that was. Everybody had a good time, including myself. I'm going to say, though, I just got to jump right into it. So last time we were talking, I just want to jump into Mythic talk really quick. I didn't get to experience it. I was still level 66. First of all, Frosty, Wayne can tell you, I'm loving Mythics now.
You're talking about Mythic Plus.
Mythic Plus, Mythic Dungeons, Mythic Keys. I'm loving it. I am yeah.
That's a change of tone from the first episode.
That's huge. Yeah. So for those that don't know, Win had to drag me to come do a key. Like it was just, oh my God.
It's like, dude, you can get really good loot in your vault and you only have to do one.
And now I'm the one. Like yesterday I ran 7, which I mean, compared to other people, they're like, noob. To me, that's like, I ran 7, bro.
Yeah.
And I now have a really good understanding of my Death Knight. Like I have 2 builds I'm switching in between, AoE and then my single target, and I'm flipping-flopping, what's needed for that dungeon. And Wayne can tell you, I big dick myself the whole time. I was like, look at that DPS. Do you see this DPS? Look at this DPS. Oh my God, wait. Look at this. You ready? I actually, Kaldos with us, and I was like, Kaldos, you want to see something? He's like, I like the sound of that. And I'm just like button mashing. Like,
he's his own biggest fangirl.
I am. I'm proud of myself, okay? Someone needs to be.
If you're not, who's going to be? Not the pugs,
exactly.
That's for sure.
No.
But I can now join the hype talk with you too. I feel like I haven't been able to do a 10 plus, so sad face, tear down the face, but I actually know I can do them. I just haven't yet. I'm trying to build up my rating right now. I think I'm 750-ish now. I think I just got the achievement for 750.
Nice.
But I did want to say though, there's one boss that out of all the dungeons that just ruined it. And
Only
actually
one?
There was one that really was just like, I actually popped in with Cell when, and was like, all right, I need some coaching right now because I just don't get it. I don't understand.
Please tell. Please tell which one.
It was a 4-key. It was Nakund offensive. And it was the wind boss that has the balls coming out. And he has the balls coming in. Someone told me, and of course, just listening to what they say, don't soak the ball, pop the balls with the lightning. Don't soak them. They do dot over time. It does something.
Well, they do.
I can already see.
Give you a huge damage.
Yeah,
damage buff.
It's not a dot, is it? It's just an upfront damage instant, and then you get the damage.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
it just feels like a dot because you're constantly running into
damage over time. Though there is a damage over time from the guy that does the lightning. So like you can kind of get the confusing. But for those that don't know, I mean, I'm sure everybody does. But if you don't, it's a 5% increase per ball. So it's like 12K DPS out of my 250K health bar. So it's a chunk, but I'm a Death Knight, man. AMS, anti-magic shell. I go and soak 9 of those mofos and I'm like, oh, look at this DPS. But what I didn't know though, which was the problem, was that when I kept going in there, the healers weren't soaking any of them. And I didn't realize until Cell said it that he's like, these healers need to be soaking them because it increases their healing done.
Yeah.
And with the AoE healing that we got this content, especially with the Evoker, it's significant notice. And that's what was going on. I think we bursted, and I mean breezed through every boss. But once we got that one, because we weren't doing that one simple mechanic, we just couldn't get it down. It just wouldn't die.
It is also a really tough one on Tyrannical. Like I know it was fortified this week, but on Tyrannical, ooh.
Oh,
that's painful. Yeah.
That boss slaps.
It's really bad.
That boss slaps. Yeah, so that was the number one that I can say. Like there were difficult ones, but that one took the cake. Like that one, like I rarely pop in and just go, okay, what the hell is going wrong? But Cell and Dream were in there doing their thing. And Cell's like, I'm not doing anything. I was like, well, now you are. You're going to sit here and educate me. And he did. Oh, yeah, he educated me and he got a good laugh out of it. But I am enjoying him.
So, Frosty, are you tanking or DPS?
I haven't tanked at all. I've pretty much only been DPSing. And I feel like I could tank. Like I might try it just to keep getting into higher keys and stuff, but I don't know. It's never as much fun. Are you still tanking on your DH?
I'm doing kind of both. It's definitely.
I'm not gonna.
It's way harder switching back and forth because then, especially with the meta M+ build for Havoc, like it's just got, quite a few things you got to keep track of. And like when I've been like tanking for 4 keys and then I'm like, oh, I'm going to DPS one. Then I'm like, okay, oof. Got to get back into it.
And then to keep track of initiative, momentum, solar end, like all your, all
Unbound Chaos.
Oh, quick side story about when she was running keys with us, she was playing a rogue. Do you wanna?
No, I wasn't.
No, you were playing rogue before you ran with us, and then you got on your Evoker.
Yes, and then I got on my Evoker. Yeah,
and then you got on your Evoker.
I always put my Lust keybind on the same button that I have my stealth bound to. So like every time.
Oh no.
It was not.
Oh yeah.
It was embarrassing.
So. Walk right in and then lost it.
Instant lust.
Instant lust.
Well, that first pack just died, though. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, no, that pack went down.
No, that was Academy. So we were running through and picking up our buffs at that time. So it was just great.
Oh yeah. We were about to engage that tree boss, but all the ads around it first, and lust was helpful. For the
so speaking of tree boss, Frosty, based on all the keys you've done, what are some of your favorite bosses / packs, and what are some of your like holy shit?
Oh yeah. Okay. So there's a whole long tirade on both of these sides I can go into. So I'm sure let's bounce off each other for a bit here. So I'd say worst key in my experience on either difficult, either affix, tyrannical or fortified is easily Nakud offensive. I mean I know that like Ruby Life Pools is getting all the flame right now because it's massively overtuned. Like all the mobs in Ruby Life Pools are just garbage damage and like insane shields and all this crap that needs to be kicked, and it's like impossible. But Nakud offensive is the one that like for some reason just no one knew any of the mechanics of all of the mobs, and there are so many really important ones where like they're in that second zone, or maybe it's the first zone. No, actually the third zone, with the soul stealers. On
the mounds.
On the mounds, yeah. All the soul. There's that like Chant of the Dead, which is like a 10-second channel cast, and once it goes off, it makes all of the mobs in it do 50% more damage or something.
Gives them a buff.
And makes you take 20% more damage as well. So like I had tanks in 3 or 4 of these where they would just stand in that cast, all of the mobs would get it, they would get it, and they'd instantly die. And I kept telling them, like, you need to pull the mobs out of this. It's a 10-second channel. It's easy to move the mobs out. Just like move. And it was so miserable. So that one. Do
they do an ability called Sin Bolt Volley as well? I thought one of those also do that.
There's a Death Bolt Volley, I think. Yeah.
Death Bolt.
And
it's
like you do
like
have,
that where it's an AoE as well. So you got that going out on top of it because you're taking more damage. So you're also taking this AoE. So you got that, and then you also have that AoE on top. I actually, I think I remember exactly what you're talking about.
And then there's the mobs that steal your soul, right? Mm-hmm. And then you do 50% decrease damage. Yeah.
Yep. And then there's the mobs at the end of the dungeon that give a 6-second fear if you don't kick it perfectly. It's just
that's why you gotta avoid all of those. You gotta take the left side of the map and just kill everything else in the dungeon and don't even touch those.
I do gotta say though, at that final boss, I didn't know. And I was flying over to it and I didn't realize you can't fly into there. Mm-hmm. So I plummeted to my death flying to that last boss. I saw everybody in the opposite side of the mountain. Why? I don't know. I don't know if that's the right path, but I was going to fly over it. And all of a sudden it just, that poof of smoke where your mount disappears. I'm just like that cartoon where I'm just like, all right, I guess this is happening.
Yeah. There's a specific spot that's like stood to the left of the main pathway up where it's like you could kind of perfectly fall onto the top part, which I think most of the pub groups that I've been in, we like, you fall in there, you wait for the path to run by, you zoom like quick through the middle, go over another hill, and then you're just like kind of in the final boss area. So there's an easy path to skip everything.
Or you get a rogue and they just, group stealth. Yeah. But, oh man.
So that one's my least favorite. But yeah, how about you? Any standouts?
For least favorite?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll go positive later. Let's start on the negative note this time.
As a Havoc player, Azure Vault.
Okay, I love Azure Vault. What do you mean?
Final boss.
Final boss is great.
Not just the final boss, also the boss that spawns the ads that go is that the second or third boss that go all the way around? And she's sending those balls out.
The balls out. That
And you're like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna, stand here and just melee because I can't move.
It's your Cheeto chop.
Do you still take momentum in that key or do you just switch out?
I really should switch out of it specifically for that one. Like there's a few other bosses where Frosty, it's really inconvenient. No, where it's really inconvenient. But I think what I want to do is I want to try it and just see if like based on how I am playing, if it's more worth it for me, at least until I get more experience with momentum. So.
Yeah, so some of those where you, like the ones where you have to like plant for a certain amount of time and just like stand still, like even in Halls of Valor, there's some of those things where like you have to sit in the Eye of the Storm or you have to sit behind the Ragnarok shield.
Yeah.
I still like playing momentum on those, and what I've been like trying to get in the motion of doing is just like charge up the full 8-9 seconds of momentum buff right before that period starts because I know I can't move during it, or maybe get like a quick Vengeful Retreat meta combo that gives another 4 seconds in the middle. So it's just like. It's like a lot of weird awareness stuff to build up, but slowly my damage has been going up in these keys over time. It's a fun challenge because I'm never not playing momentum. It's just my style.
And you can still love Azure Vault with that slow buff, man. Do you have anything that like negates slows?
I mean, Fell Rush goes the same distance regardless of whether you're slowed.
I am thinking the right one. That's the one with the purple dragon at the bottom that slows you down. Yeah, that was woof. But it can be dispelled, I think, right? That slow?
I think so.
Or no?
I think it's a magic debuff.
I think it can be because at one point I feel like I got magic dispelled because I was trying to get back to the fight and I'm a DK.
But you know the healer's dispelling themselves.
Damn straight. Oh God, yeah. Or you're a mage and you can just zip zap, or you're warlock, they can use warlock gate. Or
you're a DK and it just doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, when I'm sitting there mashing it over and over and over with the amount, how slow you are throughout that whole fight, though, I've run out of that. Pretty damn quick. Thank God I got my Wraith Walk and the Death and Decay, but you know what else I have? And I'm going to keep going back to it? I'm a Void Elf. You know what that means? Spatial Wraith.
Nice,
yeah.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I love that. That ability is so underrated. There's one boss. Oh, wait. Before I get into it, I'm just going to... Actually, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to jump right into it. Ruby Life Pools. What is that boss that summons that magma ball?
Oh, the second one. Yeah.
With
the one on the ring.
Detonating ad. Dude, that's also another one that just, for some reason, if you got a tank that just doesn't understand the positioning, where to go, Oh boy.
Well, a group too, because you need the group to bait, not just the ads, like also the ball that comes out after. But as soon as you have a coordinated group that knows what you're doing, that boss is just dead. Yeah. You know, it's
that right simple. There is that's the magic. I mean, that's always the magic. As long once we got that group, but that's that's half the battle is fighting that group.
Well, but it's like it's like an easily solved mechanic. Like much more so than something that's a lot more RNG, like the last boss
after that. Well, that last boss is also still very just as annoying because you got all those magma pools. Then again, if you have the right group, you can position them correctly, but it's still a pain because you breathing fire, dropping magma pools, wind pushing. I mean, I'm a DK, I don't care, but still, like I felt like Ruby life pools, like you said. But on top of that, I've been noticing everybody saying it, and it is noticeable if you go in there. It's scales harder than any other dungeon that I've been in. I feel like it is very significantly harder. Just
punishing mechanics.
Yes, they're perfectly worded. Other than that, though, Halls of Valor, I didn't have a problem with. I enjoyed
easy.
that.
Yeah. Although I will say if you're the only melee in your group other than your tank and you're trying to do Fenrir, the wolf boss, if you get up to like a 10 or so, he does Claw Frenzy, which is a quick AoE ability that you pretty much can't get out of. Like it's so fast that you would have to know when it's happening. It's a group soak. No one seems to know that it's a group soak. So every time I'm standing in that thing,
I'm dead.
And I instantly die because there's only me and the tank in here. And I'm like, oh, you're kidding me. Please, ranged, help. You don't have to do anything. Just stand there.
Oh, sad face. Sad face. Oh, Frosty, though, I got to brag. And I was super stoked about this. And I didn't realize it until I was with Win. So I did my mythics. For those that don't know, this week for the weekly quest was doing 4 mythic dungeons, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That was, And at the end, you get a very high item level.
You get that
Frosty,
402.
Just wait. You are going to be so angry.
Oh, no.
No, angry and proud and maybe a little bit jealous.
Okay.
Sencard.
All right. I'll just get mine out of the way really quick. All right.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, he's going to be freaking over this?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Then I'm even more excited.
You don't even know how good you have it.
Oh, I don't. I was so giddy, though. So I was sitting with Mare and I was sitting with Slayer and we were just chilling out and they were bragging about the items that they got out of it. And I was like, I got to go and do it. So I was like, what's the eye level that you get out of it? Because I didn't know at the time. And Slayer's like, I got a 402. And Mare's like, oh, I got a 404. And I was like, oh, awesome. So I did it and I popped mine open with them. I was like, oh, I got a 411.
He got a 411.
What?
No. 411 is the least of the... Go ahead.
No.
I actually... I forget the name. Oh,
Grieftorch.
You got
411.
You got the Grieftorch.
Yes.
It's my S tier trinket.
Doesn't know what it is. Oh, it's 411.
I was like, and then I'm reading it and I'm like, holy crap. And then I started bragging to Win, not knowing that, this isn't common understood thing. And I was like, dude, holy crap, am I crazy or is this thing fucking broken? It does 200, it does 200, just under 200,000 damage, but it's a 2-minute cooldown. But here's the catch, guys. If someone dies in an entire raid, okay, or a mythic dungeon, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be in the same group. It just, if an ally dies near you, it goes 90 seconds down in a cooldown. That's pretty much, it's up. It's up. It's just up. And on top of that 200,000 damage, it's more than that. And it scales too. And it has a chance to proc in an AoE attack. I was nutting. Once when I understood that, and then when it tells me if you want to fill in the rest, because I don't know the rest about some item that complements it. I don't remember exact details.
That fire damage ring.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So now I have
procs when you do fire damage. Yeah.
Dude, I was like...
That's insane. And I'm over here with my 402 cloak. I'm feeling good about that one, yeah. When I already had a 398, I was like, come on.
Oh, man. So, and I went from 2 as well. It was like a 359 trinket all the way up to a 4. I was just like, gift from God. I was like, this is awesome.
Sungard's going to be chasing people in raid, watching health bars going, oh, I need to be over here. You're about to die.
We're going to get to that later on, okay? Because I spent 7 hours last night learning how awesome that trinket is by the effect of others dying around me.
Okay, should we talk about bosses and dungeons we liked?
Yeah.
Frosty?
What do you think? The positive ones. I like some of the ones in Algathar Academy because there's some really cool ways to min-max that.
Yeah.
Especially the bird one. The bird, that's sort of a weird one because a lot of groups still don't understand
glad you brought this one
the
up.
mechanic of it. So quick explanation of it is there's this deafening screech ability that happens every once in a while that adds a stacking debuff or a stacking dot on your whole party. Around 4 stacks, you want to try to clear that. And the only time you can clear it is by sending the balls into the goals. And that you can only do 2 times a fight.
It's Quidditch.
Right. So it is a bit of a DPS check, but the important part of it is that when you do the fireballs into the goal, it stuns the boss and makes the boss take a lot of increased damage. So I see groups going into it and popping all their cooldowns and lust and stuff on pull when really you should be saving it for that 15-second stun window and just nuke the guy. But I do like that one for that reason. And especially in higher tyrannical keys, its health is high enough that you have to play in the end when there's fire raining down and wind. And
the wind.
I just think that's really fun because I'm then also trying to plan fell rushes and vengeful retreats and stuff in the middle of all that garbage. And I think that's really fun. So I think that's probably my favorite one. Yeah. I can't say. There are 2. Actually, some of the ones in Shadow Moon Burial Grounds are fun too. The one at the end near Zul, I think.
Okay.
With the
the one that has
skeletons.
the wall of ads.
Yeah, the wall of skeletons. It felt very
yep.
Painsmith, which was one of my favorite raid bosses from last time.
Except he also does a frontal.
The giant cone.
You've just killed the ad, and this is your one path through, and then he does a frontal through, and you're like, well.
And you're like,
it's well, okay, this is rough. Yeah, so that one's cool, and the one where it steals your soul and sends you all into a 1v1 with your soul carrier.
Yeah,
I will say my only addition to that is that can be really, really bad if you get a bad thundering timing. Because if thundering pops and you haven't cleared it.
Right, you're phased.
Yep. So if you haven't cleared it with your counterpart partner and it pops you into your soul phase, you're just guess we're all gonna get stunned, and then you all get stunned and the whole party dies. And that's happened one time to me, and I was just oh my god, okay, we have to clear this earlier, fine. So it's fun though. I don't mind that as much because it's a very easy thing to manage. Yeah, I like thundering so far, but we could get into that later. What are your guys' favorite bosses?
Win?
Ooh, I think I also know a lot of people that don't like the Naku defensive, but I kind of like the first boss. It's pretty simple, but it's also different, where you have to go and you have to stun the boss with the catapult arrow shooter thing. I think that's pretty cool. I like the tree boss in Academy. It can be very challenging, especially on Tyrannical.
I love that boss.
But yeah, there's a lot of ads, but at the same time, especially at the higher levels, if you pad on the ads, especially early in the fight, it's actually gonna, not benefit you because then you need your cooldowns for that second wave of ads and that fourth wave of ads, right? So it's definitely requires a lot of coordination, but I think it's a really cool one.
And clearing your poison debuff at the right times, which a lot of bugs weren't doing on Tyrannical.
Yeah, right. Well, and that requires coordination too, because if the new wave of ads is coming out at the same time and that zone is filled with swirlies, right? You're just well, am I going to die of this or am I going to die of that?
A little bit of this, and a little bit of that.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to say that anything AoE really, just because I love my new build.
You just damage padding. Okay.
Dude, I'm telling you, but specifically that in Academy, that tree boss, I kept watching my DPS stay above 100K consistently was just oh God, yes, the whole fight. I will say though, I will say this was one of my favorites, not because of just the fight itself. It was just fun, but it was more comical to me. Was Court of Stars, I think it is. It's the one where I know at the end you got to do that party where you got to go and find that item. But the first time I did it with no one knew what the hell that we were doing, and we still timed it. But no one knew what we were doing, the pathing or anything. And we got so lost, and we got to that one boss where you have to get each of that one person that summons a boss away from that chick, and you got to kill that minor, boss. That was
you got to kill the enforcers to pull the mini bosses away from the boss. Yeah.
Infernal
Fellbound Enforcer.
Fellbound, yeah. And that was fun. I actually had fun doing that. The only thing I could see is trying to time it and then doing that party at the end. I'm sure there's a weak error for that or something like that makes it so much easier. Well,
if you're a demon hunter, you can do that very quickly. So
I didn't think about that.
You just use Spectral Sight.
Spectral Sight at instant, you know which one it is.
That's wild.
There are actually, so I was going to ask you guys about this because there are a lot of mechanics like that are class specific in Court of Stars. So like if you're a warlock, you can poison the drink that is in front of the first boss that lets you.
I thought there was a rogue mechanic.
Maybe it's rogue. It might be both.
Because you have to stealth up to it, right?
Is that class or is that profession? Because I know there's a lot of profession stuff.
There's a mix of both. Yeah, there's a lot
there
of
is
that
a profession
all over.
one as well. Yes.
And like if you poison that drink, it skips the last 20% of the boss's health. Like it's such a time difference on Tyrannical. So I'm wondering, like, is that going to be a problem for pug groups where it's just like, everyone is just going to be like, we need a warlock, we need a demon hunter, and we need like one of these things.
A blacksmith.
Right. Yeah. Something like that, where it's just like, oh, that'll make the key 5 minutes faster just because we have these classes. Like some classes just might get excluded entirely. I'm not worried about it because I'm a demon hunter. But other classes, I feel like
I'm a demon hunter. I don't need to worry. What is I'm sorry, I brought up that blacksmithing one because there's that one with the anvil. What dungeon was that? I don't think that's part of the Mythics though. I know that, but there is a dungeon that has a guy that's hammering on an anvil, and then you can go up to the anvil as a blacksmith if you have 25 or higher. Use it. It summons an item for you to use during that dungeon. But I think that's
we don't have that one in the rotation yet. It's the one in Obsidian Bulwark, right? I forget what it's called, but
trying to think of anyway. That was like one of the examples, but that's exactly right. But that blows my mind. I never would have thought about that with the Demon Hunter. Wynn, I'm guessing you've done that, or did you?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's wild, man.
Although
that's awesome.
As Havoc, I don't like Court of Stars because there's always a pat, and you're always like,
oh god, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Got to look around a little bit first and be like, can I use momentum?
Am I going to backflip as momentum into something and then hate myself? I was just saying, like, as a first experience, it was fun. But I got to say, I mean, generally, though, I'm having fun. Like, that's why I'm enjoying Mythic Keys. I'm actually enjoying all of them. Like, all of them are fun. All of them are, like, I haven't done Thundering yet, so I might change my mind when that happens. But up until this point, I've been enjoying them.
Thundering's not bad, I think. It's pretty
Temple
easy
of the
to play
Jade Servant.
around.
Yeah, Temple of the Jade Servant. There's only one thing that I hate: Haunting Shah. That's it. Haunting Shah is the only thing I could say.
With the fear.
Isn't that the one that fears?
Yeah. Yes. And if that, but as long as you keep on control of that, everything else is just pretty much, easy peasy. Ruby life pools, we went through that. Academy, I think the first boss, or that elemental boss, that arcane elemental, a little frustrating, but other than that, I enjoy them all.
He's been messaging me. I have like 7 messages.
We're getting,
it's coming. Tell him it's coming. Don't worry.
We're getting heckled by our community on the side here.
Yeah. People want in. It's coming, everybody.
We'll get there
it's
next time. Coming soon to a Discord near you.
Oh man, I want that snipped and make that a trailer. We're gonna have that be that coming to Discord near you.
My God, we're gonna have trailers for the podcast now. Yeah, that sounds.
It's gonna be fantastic. I do have something else I want to bring up, but go on, Wynn.
Well, I was just thinking maybe we should move on to talking about the raids. But do you have anything else about the?
Yeah, quick, just one minor thing. I didn't know that with Valor that it was capped. I just want to mention that to anybody that's listening. There is capped Valor. Now, I told everybody last time, go spend that. But I forgot the disclaimer. There's capped Valor, but capped Valor, I misunderstood it. It's by season ending, you can only have a max 3,000. But every week, it goes up by 750. Am I right? I'm pretty sure I'm right.
It shouldn't be 3,000 because the first week was like 2,500
look at that face
already. I don't know what the count is, but it's up there.
This week was 3,000, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now I was told it's going up, but I haven't seen it go up yet, and I feel like it's been a week or two. I'm trying to.
It went up between first week and this week because it was 2,250 and now it's 3,000, and so it'll be.
But I haven't seen it go up again. Well, so I'm curious if it's going to go up any further. But I just want to give everybody that listens, because I like to give a little advice here and there. If you use your Valor, but just watch your cap and make sure that you don't cap out, but at the same time, make sure that you're spending it on things that you actually need. Don't just willy-nilly go nuts. Luckily, I didn't, but I just wanted to make note of that.
Well, but that is the thing. Like, you can't say don't make sure you don't cap because the cap is based on the weeks. So, like, Even if you use your Valor, it's not going to refill if you keep running Mythics because you've already had your 3,000, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly. That's why I'm saying, like, make sure you're spending your Valor on what you want. Spend it, but just spend it wisely, I guess is the best way to put it. Right. And then the second thing that I didn't know that I learned from my first vault, actually, I would have never known because no one told me, no one asked. There are tier pieces again. I didn't know that.
What?
Yeah.
Have you been living under a rock?
I know, like, I knew we talked about it and that it was coming, but I just left my brain. And then all of a sudden I saw in the vault, here's a tier piece. And I was like, oh, that's a thing. That's right. Oh, yeah. All right, cool. Awesome. And now I'm sitting with one piece waiting for my second piece and I've run everything. And you can get, now going into this, if you complete Mythics and if you complete raid bosses on normal and heroic, you can get a tier piece. It's a gem though, right? I think it's like a gem that you get and then you can turn it in and get a tier piece.
LFR too, though. You can get them in LFR.
Oh, LFR?
Yeah.
Ah, damn it. And then
There's
what
just
about
that
the
item level.
world boss? The world boss, does that do it too or no?
I haven't seen a drop from world bosses. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay, so for everybody listening so far, if it does, we haven't gotten it yet. Go do your world bosses too, though, because it's juicy, big.
But also,
delicious.
I think you can also get them in your PvP slots, right?
You can. In
the
they did.
vault?
Yeah, they did. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Like that was one of the things I read because once when I went and looked it up, that I'm very positive that was one of the ways to get it. But so I am trying to do that, and I've been running now. That gave me even more incentive because that's why I picked up LFR. Now that you mentioned, yes, that was actually one of the first reasons why I ran LFR. And then on top of that too, another reason or incentive to run Mythics and also to running raids. Now to get into raiding though, the last time that we spoke, we didn't even talk about raiding. Now that we've gotten into this, we haven't recorded in 2 weeks because of the holidays and everything, but we've gotten pretty much 2.5 weeks since we recorded last time of just raiding. And it's, before I get into it, what do you guys think? Go on. Throw it at me. What's your opinion?
What's your pug experience, Frosty?
Well, my pug experience, I feel like kind of got messed up by the holidays. I will say, like, I don't know what it is. I feel like I missed like the first week or the first 2 weeks almost entirely just because I was traveling. And now I'm like this 3 out of 10 normal, decent eye level player who is like, do I want to go into a learning group and relearn the first 3 bosses again, or do I can't get into the other side? So I've felt that my time is better spent just running keys. So I really haven't done too much of the raid, honestly. I'm going to yield to you guys on most of this.
Some things don't change.
I have a lot to say about the spider boss, but that's about where my experience ends. So.
And for everybody listening, that is the only boss that I haven't gotten to experience at all. For some reason, Sennarth just missed every time. I don't know why, don't know how. It's just haven't ever done it. I've seen it, haven't done it.
Well, it's quite an experience, huh, Frosty?
Oh, it's
Do tell.
Oh, thanks.
so
What did you think?
much fun.
Thanks.
Well, I mean, I've only done 3 bosses, and it's more interesting than the first 2.
Right.
Yeah, but so the lay of that boss fight is like you're going up this set of icy stairs and fighting mobs and fighting mechanics and stuff along the way. But what I think is really what sells that boss is the final platform, the last phase when you're on a platform that is only ice, and the entire thing is anytime you move, your momentum keeps taking you in that direction, and if you're playing, say, a demon hunter and you like do something like Vengeful Retreat and then Fell Rush, you go like 300 miles an hour off the edge of the platform.
For real.
I had one
at
time.
the randomest times, right? It's not consistent.
It's not. Yeah,
not
exactly.
consistent.
I couldn't make it happen again, but I have a clip which I'm hoping I can grab and like edit into this. But like I have a clip of like me pulling off this combo and just launching off the edge, and just magically, because demon hunters are crazy and I like metaed back onto the platform or something, like I didn't die, but it was just it looked ridiculous. So that's really fun, but it does make it a really fun positioning challenge, which I think it felt really unique from other like dodge the swirlies bosses, because now it's like dodge the swirlies, but you're going to keep moving in the direction that you dodge. So it was, you have like, it activates a different part of your movement brain, I felt. So that was fun.
So, and that's where like when Frosty was talking about the ice stairs and the ice platform, it's not just, oh, it's ice colored and it looks like ice. It acts like ice.
Is ice.
Yeah, and it's not 100% of it. It comes down in these puddles. So you end up...
I'm guessing that affects pathing? Like, because I haven't gotten to do it, so I'm asking you.
No, it's a linear
Frosty.
path, because it's just a spiral.
But like, do you have to
stairs.
avoid those patches as you go up, or can you run through them as you go up?
Oh, you can run through them. I think they do a small ticking damage on you when you're in it. So
I was
you don't want
expecting
to
you
just
to like slip and go back down a little.
Vertical gravity doesn't actually matter on this. It's only horizontal. Like if there's an ice patch.
Yeah, see, that's where my brain was. I was like, how funny that be that you run up the stairs and you're like, all right, bye, win.
But there's also like this suck in mechanic where she like throws these webs out and she goes to suck you off the platform. And if you don't either run against it or be far away or get stuck in these little webs that are down on the ground, you can get pulled off the platform, right? But there are a few spots along the way that, you know, there's these obstructions that if you stand on the right side of them, you can just stand there and keep hitting the boss. It doesn't LOS you from the boss, but it keeps you from getting pulled off. But I have been betrayed by those a few times.
No, if you're not, pulled you through it?
Not through it, but if you're not like, because the boss keeps moving, right? So if you're not perfectly in the right spot, you could still be pulled off. So
I could see the look. You had a flashback. It was like a PTSD moment where you're like, oh no.
But definitely a cool boss. Yeah.
I do got to say, when me and Win raided through, we actually did a pug together. And when we did a pug together, we got through, I think, the first 4 bosses together, if I'm correct, Win. And Frosty, it was amazing. So it was a pug group, as you know, I love to run. And we get in. We were having, it was already like within the first 2 seconds, Win is tipsy. She's drinking, having a good time. Oh, man. Sorry, I had to throw you out there. And we were just in the height of the moods. We jump in there. Were you tanking, though? I think you were tanking.
Yep.
Yes, you were tanking for us. And I'm going to say Airnog, we got through that. That was fun. Airnog is, as everybody has seen, if you haven't, it's just literally a giant fire boss, dodge the fire, and then there's the, you drop fire pools down, summons ads, you cleave the ads, and then eventually it's like Paintsmith as well, in a way.
But circular.
Well, but it's circular, and it comes in, you kill one ad, you get out, rinse and repeat. Now the second one, though, and this is where you come in, Frosty. So I just blatantly said, hey, guys, I'm going to be using some of this footage for our podcast. So if there's anything that happens, I'm going to call that out and I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing and I'm going to zoom in on that. And Frosty, I'm telling you, man, the first one may have been just a little bit off. But for those that don't know, it's 2 main mechanics and it is a DPS check. But 6 people get chosen to summon pillars. And during that, it's a giant group soak. So what you do is you have 3 on the right, 3 on the left, everybody stacks in the middle. Once when the rocks come up and detonation is soaked, you move to the left. And the reason for that is the tank needs to face the frontal cleave to destroy. It's a line. It's a straight line, and they need to destroy those rock pillars. They do dots over time, and they once when you blow them up. So you generally want to do 3, then 3 makes it manageable. They lined those bad boys up so perfectly. I just stopped and I was like, look at that. Frosty, do you see this? This is beautiful. Hold on, let me zoom in on that. And I just stopped doing what I was doing. And I moved in front of it, like zoomed in. I was like, do you see this, everybody? This is what you do. This is what you do every single time. This is gorgeous. This is beautiful. Guys, you're making me hard, man. And they just kept, after that, I don't know what happened, but it was so perfect. They were so perfectly synchronized every single set. We crushed through that boss, and I was just sitting there losing it. Everybody was laughing their asses off, though. Man, it was a great one. So I can't wait till you see some of that footage. I'm hoping that while I'm saying this, Frosty,
this will be playing for sure. We're gonna get your ASMR in our ears while we watch this.
Oh my god, you're gonna love it. It's so good.
Relive it.
Oh, and then Council was after that. Council was a fun fight. Council has.
Have you done Council, Frosty?
Or
is that one of the ones you haven't done?
I think I've done like 1 or 2 pulls on it, but I didn't stick around.
Yeah, so it's magma pools, Blizzard. If Blizzard comes out, you step in the magma pools. Magma pool is a group soak. Then you also have pillars that come out, just like the second boss in Terros. And then you get electric marks, and electric marks can spread. You touch the rock, and then you walk away. Touch the rock, walk away. Touch the rock, walk away. And that's just that. Like, I know I'm kind of blasting through it, but it's pretty much that. Rinse and repeat all the way through it. It's really, I mean, they need to die at the same time, but it's fun. It's new. It's a lot of mechanics, but it's manageable. It's not overwhelming. They come out they come out in healthy intermittence. Like, it's not like, oh my God. Like,
at least on normal.
Leader.
Yeah. How much worse is it going to get on heroic?
Listen, let me enjoy being a raid leader while I still can, because I know it's coming.
It's a really fun AoE boss because the bosses are almost always stacked. and you're just always slamming them. There's like a tank frontal that you have to dodge, and other than that, you can just go wild.
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah. And then just to skip to the one that reminds me, and I hate the raid that shall not be named or the content that shall not be named. Reminds me as oh my God, it's like it was like PTSD. Was Dal'thea Ascended. Reminds me of oh my God, I just had a brain fart. What's the boss from Sepulchre or not? Sanctum of Domination. There was a Soul Render, and the other guy where you get knocked back.
Remnant, the knockback one.
Yeah,
that is Dal'thea Ascended.
I might like that one.
Yeah, so what it happens is the boss does her thing. There's tornadoes and just zigzags. I'm not talking about heroic yet. I know where you're going probably, but when actually I do want to hear your opinion though as tanking what it does is she summons 2 ads. And what we did for our group is we had one tank take both ads, and then the other tank just stay on the main boss in the center. And then when the ad dies, it does something called blowout or blowback. And you have to stand in front of wherever that ad died and get knocked back, but the ad has to die near an edge. She can't die in the center. It can't die in the center because it's going to blow you off the arena. So you have to take that ad to the edge. But here's the problem is that the first couple times we were doing with our group, they were cleaving and they were killing both those ads. So it'd go boom, and while you're midair, boom, and everybody would it was like Team Rocket's blasting off again. So what do you think though, Win? And Frosty, definitely.
I haven't done it, so I'll yield.
Well, just hearing what we're saying.
There's a certain amount of cleave you want to do because you want that ad to be low enough that you can just come back right away, hit it, and it dies, and you go again. Yeah, I kind of do wish there was like a way to not cheese the mechanic, but a creative way to deal with both at the same time.
I would like
that would be really challenging, and you'd have to be super coordinated, but you could do it, you know?
What about 3 tanking? Is that valid?
No. What she's meant, so this was something I brought up because Wynn mentioned this. I wish that they had some form of utility, a global, a healer global, some form of utility that allows everyone to do almost like what a Death Knight does. Not allowed to get knocked back. That would be awesome. Or if you could avoid the second, there was a buff that would prevent knockback or something, not even a movement speed increase, just a buff that everybody gets for 5 seconds that someone could pop that you don't get knocked back. I would love a utility like that.
Or something where if you killed them literally at the same time or within 1.5 seconds of each other, it would just be
it's
one.
like one. It would,
and
a
even
a
bigger one, but just one, right?
Got you.
Something like that.
No. But there is one other mechanic really quick. It's called Cyclone, and the boss so you're managing the tornadoes, not getting knocked in the air. This boss is very much like knock in the air, like a trampoline actually. So you don't want to get knocked in the air by whirlwinds. Then you have the ads that do blowback, but she also does Cyclone, which she spins, and when she spins, it sucks everyone in. So you have to do Druid Roar. But if you get sucked in, she just Now, Win, I wanted to ask you
launched, literally launched.
Now, is it Demon Hunter? Can you use your wings to cancel that out if she launches you?
You're still gonna go up. So the blowback, you can cancel the blowback pretty much as a Demon Hunter, because all you do is you pop your wings out, you stop and you glide to the ground. But the blow up is different because even if you put your wings out, you're still going up.
Because the momentum of it.
Yeah, okay. And in fact, then it will slow your fall back down. So you got to wait, let yourself fall back down, and then pop your wings right at the bottom so you don't take fall damage.
Spatial rift, just saying. I got caught one time, and it was a big dick move. Love it.
As a Demon Hunter, you can only be one race.
It sucks. Anyway. Sorry. Anyway, but then Sennarth comes after that. I didn't get to do that. And then what's the one right after that though? Oh my God, I'm having a brain fart.
Kurog?
Yeah, Kurog Grim Totem, right? Kurog Grim Totem. That one, that I gotta say is the most convoluted one besides the final boss, I want to say. I feel like the second to last one, Broodler, but I want to say no, Grim Totem is a little bit more complex. So you have 4 sections, each one is a different element. And the longer you stay in there, he gains stacks every, I want to say 4 seconds. That increases his damage. So what you got to do is you got to rotate around the room around each one of those elemental platforms. And then you want to make sure that he gains energy. And then as he hits 50% energy, he ults on whatever platform he's on. So if he's on fire, what it does is everyone gets a fire pole beneath them. and then every time he ults at 50%, that's when you move him. So you generally want to keep him whatever elemental platform he's in, move him when he ults. And then you move him next section, and then you do that mechanic on that one. So each element has its own mechanics. Then on top of that, when he gets 100 energy, he summons 2 adds, whichever 2 elemental platforms you're on. And each one of those adds have their own mechanics as well. So it's like, yeah, it's a lot. Like, I mean,
it's
fire, you dodge,
fun.
Frosty, soak.
It's very fun because it's not like always just the same thing, right? That's I don't know.
Yeah,
the thing about the first couple bosses is like the mechanics are pretty okay, but then it's just a repetition of the same thing kind of over and over, like Terros, for example.
That's a good way to put it, too,
and then,
because this is...
as you get later into the fight, you see these different... or later into the raid, you see these different bosses that have like a lot more... like, it's like changing phases through the fight, right? So I really like Kurog. Yeah.
I love it. And even for a pug, it was fun. Like, I didn't like hate it. Like, I was like, no, this is a fun fight. Like, I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. And what I love about it, Frosty, too, is that you can do it however you want.
Like starting in whatever order. You can't
cut across. Yeah, like you really could.
That's a trap though too. It's a trap though too, because right now we're progging it on heroic, and what happens though is that if you're struggling with one sequence of going, it's very easy to go, okay, let's try this sequence and this sequence, and go different ways. And what happens is you never really get a rhythm for it then, right? And for the different things that are coming out. And so I guess some advice I would give is, even if it seems like something isn't working well, or the sequence isn't working well, just like stick with it till you really understand it, because it might just be that you need to give it a little bit more time. Because when you bounce all over the place, you do so many different things when you're progging a boss, especially when you're only maybe 10, 15 pulls into doing it. It's just, can be really
you just
hard.
Gave the same advice I had to give to Mare. I actually had to pull Mare out of Ras'zageth for that, because we'll get there in a second to end the whole talk on that. But she was just doing the same thing because it wasn't working. She just kept changing the strat. I'm like, listen, stick with it. Just
well, and every different person is like, oh, maybe we should try this. Maybe we should try that. Let's do this. Well, when I pugged it, we did this. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Well.
And it's like, okay, well, let's stick to one and polish it before we realize, okay, what can we do? But to stay on Kurog Grim Totem for just one extra second, though, Kurog Grim Totem, I'm going to compare to like Ras'zageth. Obviously, you're going to expect the final boss to be mechanically heavy. So I'm not take that out of the equation. Out of all the bosses, though, besides Ras'zageth, though, Kurog and Broodkeeper. Broodkeeper, I feel like you would have fun, Frosty.
I haven't seen that one at all.
For some reason.
That is the one that I've seen in pugs with like 3 tank listing, and I don't know why.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is a reason. Yeah. It's because there's for the first
phase 1, right?
Yeah, phase 1, which is like half the fight, is one tank tanks the boss, the other tank goes and picks up all the adds that are spawning around the room, because they can't be within a certain proximity of the boss, and that proximity is very large.
30 yards.
Yeah,
it's 30 yards, dude.
Yeah. So it's there's no tank swapping. There, you just can't. It's not a thing. So I think what a lot of people doing are they're 2 tanking the boss and swapping on the boss, and then one is going around picking up the adds. But that would be like just for learning, because I feel like if you're a tank that really can cycle through your CDs really well, and you have a dedicated healer, you should be okay. But
yeah, what we did is I took a single target healer and made them follow the tank that was with the boss. I was like, because you don't need AoE. So the way I saw it work best, just to kind of slam through this, is that you get one tank with a single target healer and a melee DPS, because a ranged DPS is not going to be able to reach the adds, and you need to be with the boss. And the reason why is because there's pairs of eggs throughout the whole room, and it is pairs of eggs. What happens is you go up, she does this like start hatch, and when she starts to hatch, like 2 seconds after, she stabs a staff in the ground. The staff has only got like an AoE the size of my Death and Decay. I don't know what else would be relatable. AMZ, it's about that big. You have to stand in it, and then you get an extra action button. You click it, and then a laser beam follows you, and you have to run it over the egg that's hatching. If you do not do that, that egg hatches an ad. Now, that's not the problem. The problem is it is a problem, but What's the problem is if that ad hatches and it's right next to the boss, it gets empowered by the boss.
Yeah.
So then that other tank has to come all the way over, and God forbid he's got ads with them, and then somehow try to taunt it off you, or I would have to run, taunt it halfway there and be like, take it off me quick, I gotta get back, and then run back and continue. And here's the other issue, is that as you're rotating around the room, packs are spawning randomly throughout the room. So a pack could spawn right next to where the boss is, and one tank it's a little discombobulating because one tank would be like, dude, you need to get the boss away. It's like, we can't. We have to focus these eggs. Like, we can, but like...
the eggs start, the timer starts on the eggs that are closest to the boss. So, but once you've started those eggs, you're kind of committed.
Yeah, like, and the staff, by the way, if you're not in that staff's radius of the AMZ, you can't trigger it. And it's a slow moving beam. So like, it's really up to the entire rate. Oh, and that's the whole like first phase. You're not attacking the boss. The sole focus is killing those ads. Just finish ads while we kill all the eggs. Then once when every egg has been destroyed, that's when the boss gets empowered and it's all right, boss fight time. And that's second phase. It's just boss. And so it's a very interesting fight. And the reason why I think you would like this is being DPS, especially if you're in AoE or if you like to move, you're just killing packs of ads for the whole first phase, man. Like,
that does sound kind of fun.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's fun when it's done right.
Sure, yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. I didn't really get to enjoy that part because I was busy. Like, I was like, I want to learn the mechanic with the tank that's pulling the boss. So I'm going to sit here. And actually, I did enjoy it, though, because having just the boss to myself and just being like, come on, bitch, let's go. Dueling it with the tank. It was fun. But yeah, so, all right. So
Ras'zageth.
I'm just going to say this. Last night, 7 hours. Didn't get it.
Ouch.
7 hours I spent. 7 hours. I recorded it all. I recorded all 7 hours. I was like, if I'm going to suffer, I want proof. 7 hours. And Win was there for 3 of it.
3? Oh,
yeah, no, 2.5 at least. Yeah, no, I recorded that, and oh man.
But I do have to say, like, I thought that group would have it. Our first pull, we got through the first phase, which is like for a pug group that's not in voice and has very little coordination.
Oh, no, phase 2. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we never. We didn't Discord. 3.
We didn't Discord. We got to phase 2, second intermission, which is right before phase 3. We got her down to 28% win. And the entire night, that was the highest or the lowest I got.
28.
Oh.
I didn't get past for 3.5 hours. I kept switching groups. We did not get past phase 1 after that.
Well, it's what happens when you group hop.
Yeah. And I didn't just group hop. I stuck with each one for like 45 minutes, being like, all right, let me get a feel for this. And then the final group I got back to that point, but I'm telling you, no group was as close to the group that we were with. And I got to say, Ras'zageth is, all right, let's start with this perspective. Not a raid, like a general being a raid leader and leading a group, just an individual. I enjoy. Like, I actually thoroughly enjoy it. It is doable. It's achievable.
It's my favorite fight.
You understand.
It is so good.
I actually can honestly say I'm enjoying it like Sire. Like, I love this fight. Like, praise. I love this fight. Okay. Dude, yeah, no.
Frosty, you were going to love Raz.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. Pretty much, you can do your entire momentum rotation and never get out of the boss's hitbox.
Yep.
I've seen it has a massive hitbox. Like, you're the whole wingspan almost, right?
And the intermission phases have tons of ads.
Oh, great.
You know, they need CC, they need stunning. You know, it's the entire DH toolkit. It's great.
It's a beautiful, beautiful fight. I got to say, kudos to Blizzard, because this is the content that we were hyped. We were built up hype and they delivered. This is good content. I'm thoroughly enjoying this. Every fight. I haven't hated one except for Sennarth because I haven't experienced it, but that's different.
You won't hate
that
it.
To the side.
It'll be great.
Yeah, but Ras'zageth though has, I want to say 3 phases. People say 5. It's 3, but there's intermission between 1 and 2. I mean 1 and 3. There is an intermission, which is the ad phase. First phase is just lightning breath and pushbacks, and you use these puddles. They drop these lightning puddles. They're like cloudy little lightning puddles that there's no way to avoid it. You have to use those puddles unless you're a Death Knight. And then she pushes you in it. You take a little damage over time. I know Win's like reliving PTSD because there's also a bad part to this. those puddles that you drop to prevent get pushed off the platform, right before those puddles get dropped, it's an AoE like raid damaging ability, and the closer you are to it, the more damage it does. And woof, if you do not do that right, man, that instant, like, dude, I've never seen a raid go from like everyone full health to instantly like that as quickly as this, man. Like it's insane,
is it like the
dude.
seeds on Artificer?
Yes,
that level of death.
It's kind of like it's kind of yeah. That's a great way to put it.
So each puddle does 95,000 damage to each player, which is not a one shot, but each puddle does it. So there's 3 puddles, so 95k times 3. So if you
like
if you drop them all close, unless you're a tank, that's pretty much a one shot.
For the person that's dropping is what she's saying. So if you're dropping right here and you have 2 people left and right, what I was starting to notice is the people
that's each person in the raid. If you're standing close to that puddle and it gets dropped, yes. So, but if you're the person who's dropping it, right,
there it is.
You're for sure getting it no matter what.
Yeah. So like if you got 2 people next to you that aren't spacing them out, like, yeah, you have the circles. Even if you kind of overlap them, that's still dangerous. Like if you're overlapping your giant circles, it's not that you're going to get hit by their circle, but the closer you are, the more damage you're taking. And as she's saying, the person that's dropping is taking 93,000 times 3. So it's almost like you have to pop defensive if you see them right next to you. So what people were doing is dropping one and then bringing out the ones out to the side. But dude, oh my God. And I know it's new. I know it's new content. But this is, I got to say, phase 1 out of all the phases so far, in my opinion, is the hardest. Because people aren't just aware, man, with the puddles. And also
running around with a giant ring and like flashing icon above their head. No, just DPSing the boss right in the middle, you know.
But they'll take it. And so this is the problem with it, because when you see a visual circle, a giant visual circle, you're like, no one's in it. I did it right. I got it out. And they're not comprehending that still doesn't do the job. The closer you are, the more damage you're taking, even if we're not in that circle. If we're in that circle, we're taking that full 93k, but the further you get it away, the less it scales. So people will take it just outside. But meanwhile, we got one right behind us. That right there, that's 183. I have 155,000 health. And if I'm, God forbid, 40,000 health down, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Like, boop.
Did you
and people, oh my God, people are losing their minds. But go on.
No, did you watch the Echo world first kill of it?
Not yet.
Yep.
Not yet.
So
I've been wanting to watch that.
Their
I was
handling
actually
of that
watching
circle,
the stream.
Oh, that had to be so exciting. Their pull of it was pretty much perfect. Like the only time that they had anyone drop in the entire fight was in the last phase of it, when they have the encroaching DPS check circles and they got those 3 puddles. They just sacked all 3 players that had it. They were like, go into the storm, die, and then they instant B-resed all 3, because it was better to just like use the B-reses as tactical, like get this damage away from the raid.
And the 8 grief torches they had in the raid benefited greatly.
They just all instantly came off of cooldown and just, their execute on that was nuts.
Thank you for the reminder. So the only benefit to it, though, is that I, by far, in every one of those pug groups, was top DPS, because I'm shitting you not, with these people keep dying, So, the whole point of those puddles, as we said, though, the boss blows you back. And you have to use those puddles, because when you go in them, you get your movement speed reduced by 70%, but you don't get knocked away. You don't get knocked off the platform. But people would constantly, one by one, get blown off. And every time they did, I was like, thank you. Grieftorch. Thank you.
Yeah.
200,000 DPS. So I think we got all the way through to, like I said, 28. And I got to say, with going through, I want to say phase 1 is got to be the hardest, in my opinion. Phase intermission ads. You kill 3 big ass ads, that's some smaller ads after first intermission. Once you do that, you hop to the third platform. That's fun. It's negatives and positives. And this is going to be like the final say of what I love about this fight. And this is why it's awesome. You have to stack positive and negatives. And when you do, you get if you do it right, 300% damage increase. Now, I got to say, though, for Demon Hunter with momentum, though, I could see that being a problem, though, because you have to be stacked. So you have to be moving during that. And it lasts for about 15, 20 seconds.
But momentum
right?
isn't... I thought it was a 30% damage buff.
No, it's huge. I remember it being
it's a 300% damage
It's like,
buff?
Don't quote me on it. Next time we come back, I'll make a little disclaimer, but I remember looking at it. Oh, if you can,
So momentum is an 8% damage buff, right?
Yeah.
So 8%.
I'm talking about 30%. The buff from the
30%.
boss that you get for positives and negatives is what I'm saying.
Right,
I
but
know,
it's better
but
to stand
what I'm
still
saying-
to get the 30% or whatever it is than to get the
or
little
the
bit of
300 is what I think.
Either way, it'll be more worth than the marginal amount of momentum.
Of the Incarnates, let's find out.
I need to know this now.
Yeah, I do too. Let's find out. Did I big dick it too hard? Raz. How do you spell Ras'zageth? Is it?
Because at first I thought you said 300,000% increase, and I thought, 300%, 30%.
I'm gonna stand by it. And drum roll. Oh, damn it! I can't pull it. I need to be in WoW right now.
Yeah,
Buff the increases damage and healing by 200%.
Damn it! 200%.
That's a lot.
I mean, that is 3x.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of like,
But I do got to say, though, it doesn't just happen once, Frosty. It happens like 3 or 4 times. So, like, you have multiple windows to go big. And on top of that, Win can tell you, I was freaking out because my Grieftorch, every time I got that buff, I was like, Grieftorch, like, let's go. Dude, oh my God. It's so much fun. And then after that, you have one more intermission. And that's where we kept wiping. I didn't get to see the final phase, but I know it's a soft enrage, but in between that, it's just ad spawn. But this time, the ads can't reach the ad, and the fucking boss is breathing lightning fire across the whole arena. So it's just kiting, dodging, and that was where it was just wipe.
Kiting and dodging, though, that's what DHs do best.
Exactly.
So it's going to be...
That'll be fun for us.
Oh, yeah.
Fun for me.
Oh, yeah. So I got to say, man, with everything, like, I just got to say, hand to Blizzard, great. And I can't wait, Frosty, man, for you to check it out. And I just want to say this, too. Tonight, right after, I'm literally looking at Discord right now, and I could see it being formed. We're jumping into Heroic to experience Heroic. Well, I'm going to experience Heroic for the first time. Mare's throwing together a group right now. She planned it. I think that they're going to go in for 2 to 3 hours, and they're going to go jump right into Heroic to experience it for the first time. I think that us as a community, we're going to be moving into Heroic before we do Ras'zageth as a community, because I want to get people a little bit more geared. But I got to say, all around, nothing but love, just admiration. Like, people are loving this, man. People are excited to hop in, do the raids. The raids are fun. They're interactive. They're not overwhelming. And everybody feels like they got like a job to do without feeling like overwhelmed. And there's just all these little tidbits that you can really enjoy. And it's just different. It's different. It's new. It's fun. It's exciting.
I'm also really glad that the raid is shorter. Like, there's 8 bosses.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. It's,
it doesn't feel like that they're trying to push content. They put their time into each one. I'd rather this. Let me just say that. I'd rather 8 bosses that were designed. They put the time into it. It wasn't like it was just get it out the door, give them content. I feel like that about the dungeons. That blows my mind. Think about that. The dragon riding, love it. The dragon racing, love it. The raiding, love it. The mythic dungeons, love it. The crafting, I'm even enjoying. Like, I don't have a complaint, man. Like, the dailies, like, I'm actually enjoying myself. Like, I have complaints, but like, the good outweighs the bad right now. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I still can bitch about many things, but I gotta, from where we came from literal hell to where we are now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just accept.
Literally, the only downside of all of this is how long it took to get this, and that's pretty much the only real complaint I could have. But like, they somehow pulled off quality and quantity, and it's been great.
Exactly. So I'm just gonna say once again, I'm very happy. When we return next time, we'll tell you a little bit more about the Heroic and have a little bit more to tell you about our experiences. And on top of that, I can't wait to talk about Thundering with you guys once I start doing some tenkies, but I love it.
Definitely. All right, everyone, stay frosty. Do it. Win.
Keep winning.
Yes.
Send it.
Win hates us for this.
I love it. It's wonderful. Suffer.
All right, bye, everyone.
He's basically DBM 2.0. You don't even need DBM if you play with Sencard.
I just spit my drink.